The story is about a teacher who is polite and caring for her students. Nowak tries to protect her students from the bad influence and the scandal going around. She takes care of her students equally and tries her best not to harm them. In search of the real thief, Nowak faces a lot of humiliation and psychological trauma. At some point, she even has panic attacks. She goes against her colleagues and stands tall with the truth. In return, everyone loses faith in her and she is left alone. Ms. Nowak tries to maintain discipline, but her former colleagues who she thought were thieves keep coming in her way. The principal and Mr. Dudek support Ms. Nowak because the proof she has is enough for them to catch the culprit. Ms. Kun tries her best to turn parents and students against Ms. Nowak, and she gets successful at a big rate. Parents and students start disrespecting her, but Nowak is still like a rock and she puts all of her efforts to improve her students and not to prove herself. She protects her students and repeatedly tells school management that her students are not thieves. Nowak manages to smile at the end, and that is her biggest achievement. A woman is listening to the phone when her colleague knocks at her office door to remind her that she is getting late for the meeting. The woman stands in a haste and goes to walk in the corridor. She is a teacher and her name is Nowak. She goes to the meeting room and there are two other teachers and class representative students too. Nowak apologizes for being late. The teachers are interrogating the class representatives because of something. They are forcing them and want to know if someone in their class bought something expensive or if they heard about someone bragging about money. Nowak is nervous because she doesn't think that forcing children is anyhow good. One of the students completely denies it, but the other gives the teacher's name. The teachers ask students not to talk about the meeting with anyone else. Nowak is silent and doesn't have any suitable words to say. Later, she goes to her class and starts teaching. She calls one of the students to solve the problem on the board, but only one student volunteers and his name is Oscar. He came on board and solved the problem, but the students couldn't understand it again. Nowak tells the students not to be confused and starts explaining the solution. The senior teacher and principal interrupt the class, and Mr. Dudek tells the class girls to stand up and leave the classroom. The principal then asks all the boys to put their wallets on the bench and come forward because they want to check them. Ms. Nowak is not happy with that step, but she can't stop her colleagues. The teachers find a lot of cash in one of the students' wallets, and the principal calls the parents of those students. Ali's parents come to meet the principal and Ms. Nowak is also there. The parents tell the staff that they gave their son money so that he could buy a video game for his cousin. The principal wants to have an investigation, but the parents are not happy with it and they go away. In the staff room, Nowak tells their colleagues that they forced the children for their investigation and she knows that it wasn't voluntary. Nowak enjoys teaching her students and also loves to play with them. She acts nicely with each one of them and takes care of students too. While the students are playing basketball, Nowak notices that some students are not present. She goes outside and catches the students smoking. She tells them that she won't tell them about it to their parents if they promise to stop smoking. She also takes possession of the lighter. During the class, Nowak notices that one of her students, Tom, isn't happy and he is also misbehaving. Later, she stops Tom after the class and tells him that his behavior isn't nice. Tom gets caught with a cheating sheet and he talks back to his teacher. Nowak tells him that he should learn and work hard. She also tries to ask Tom if something else is going on in his life. Tom is rude and doesn't say a single word. Nowak lets him go away and she goes to the general office to handle one of the students' diaries. She doesn't read it because she is respecting privacy. She also asks the staff to change her password because she is unable to access it. In the meantime, two young students come and ask for tampons. The staff later tells Nowak that the password has already been changed and it is on her desk. Nowak gets glad and goes away. While Ms. Nowak is at a meeting, two of her colleagues come to her because they want to talk to her about Ali's exam. Nowak cancels her meeting and tells them that it is just the first semester and asks them if they have talked to his parents already. The teachers tell her that Ali's father is a cab driver and they ask for her opinion if she thinks they are telling the truth. Nowak understands that they came to investigate Ali's parents and gets frustrated. She tells them that she completely trusts what Ali's parents said. Nowak has a dispute with her colleagues and they go away. She checks her wallet, counts the money inside, and then intentionally leaves it in her jacket before walking away. Nowak places a camera right in front of her jacket and decides to go to sports class. After some time when she comes back, she checks her wallet and sees that some amount is missing. She is sure that someone stole money from her wallet and goes away. Nowak tries to check the recording on her laptop secretly, but she is sitting in the staff room, and it is hard for her. The teacher who was interrogating students comes and tells Nowak that he wants to apologize to her. He admits that the search of her class was not appropriate. Ms. Nowak tells him that she is fine, and she goes to the bathroom to check the recording secretly. She can't see the face of the person who stole her money, but she finds the person's blouse. It looks like a woman, and Nowak guesses the exact person who was wearing the same clothes that day. She goes to see Kun and tells her that she wants to talk to her privately. Kun sends her assistant to get prints of the document, and after that, Nowak and Kun are alone. Nowak hesitates for a minute but later tells Kun that she knows she stole her money. Kun gets frustrated and starts shouting at her. Ms. Nowak decides to go to the principal and shows her the video, after which the principal calls Kun and tells her that they have proof she stole Nowak's money. Kun sees the video and thinks that it is a joke because many people are wearing the same blouse as her. The principal is convinced and she fires Kun from her job. Kun starts crying and she shows them her pockets to prove that she is innocent. Kun goes to her child's classroom and tells him that he is leaving the school too. Nowak knows that something is wrong and she tries to stop Kun, but she doesn't listen. Nowak goes back to the principal's office and sees Mr. Dudek. She hesitates and tells the principal that she wants to talk to her privately. The principal relaxes and she tells her that she can talk in front of Dudek about anything. Nowak opens up and tells the principal that she isn't sure if Kun stole her money because they have a lack of evidence. The principal tells her that it is too late to cry, and Dudek also informs Nowak that her video is against the law. Nowak gets shocked and feels pain in her head. The principal tells her that she is planning to contact a lawyer who could give the video to the police so that they could take action against the people involved in it. Nowak asks her if involving the police is necessary, and the principal says that they don't have many choices at that time. On the next day, Nowak distributes the test results and she is happy because the students performed well. Nowak talks to Oscar, who is sitting alone after class. He is curious about why his mother cried yesterday. Nowak gives him a puzzle cube but is unable to answer him. That's why she calls student counseling and also invites the principal. The principal tries to tell Oscar that his mother did terrible things which makes him panic, but they manage to relax him somehow. It is raining on the parents-teacher meeting day and everyone arrives late. Nowak informs parents about their children's behavior and discusses other important matters. Kun arrives and she is all wet because of the rain. She makes a huge scene at the meeting and starts causing havoc, telling every parent that Nowak filmed a video of her colleague at work. Everyone is surprised and they all have their own thoughts about Nowak's action. Most of the parents leave and the meeting is finished. Nowak goes to the restroom and starts blowing into a plastic bag because she is having a panic attack. On the next day during the science class, students started misbehaving because their parents told them about what happened at the parent-teacher meeting. Nowak gets nervous because it is hard for her to control all the students, especially when they stop respecting her. After class, Nowak calls one of the students' parents to complain about their son, Lucas, and how he is misbehaving more than others. However, Lucas's parents are not any different from their children, and they start lashing out at Nowak instead, telling her that the parents are going to take over the administration because of her. Nowak sees Oscar while she is talking and she stops. Later, Nowak and Dudek listen to Oscar as he asks them why they are accusing his mother. Dudek tells him that his mother is not being accused and they are just simply investigating. Oscar is still not convinced and he asks his teacher why his mother isn't working at the school. Dudek tells him that his mother is basically on vacation and says that they have proof against his mother, but they are compelled not to talk about it. Nowak agrees with Dudek in what he tells Oscar, but the boy demands that he wants to talk to Nowak privately. When Dudek goes away, Oscar opens his bag and gives Nowak some money. Nowak is confused and she asks Oscar what he is trying to do. Oscar tells his teacher that it is 45 euros and 63 cents, which is his only savings. He is trying to bribe his teacher so that she can take back all the accusations about his mother. Nowak collects all the money back into the bag and gives it back to Oscar. She says that she admits that his mother is innocent and asks him if he is satisfied. Oscar wants his teacher to apologize to his mother in front of everyone, but Nowak rejects. On the next day, Tom and Oscar exchange words and Oscar shows him an inappropriate sign, which angers Tom. The class gets disrupted and they start to disrespect their teacher. It is suffocating for Nowak, but she stands tall. Tom calls Oscar's mother a thief and Nowak gets angry at him. She goes to the staff room and other teachers tell her that Kun might have stolen their money too. Nowak gets irritated and tells them that it wasn't necessary for Kun to steal from them if she stole from him. Her colleague asks her if she might have been filming them too. Nowak walks away, and some students from the school newspaper reach out to her asking for an interview. Nowak agrees, and the students accompany her into the newspaper office of the school. The kids ask the teacher about the school, staff, and other information. Later, they ask about what happened between her and Nizkaman. Nowak tries to ignore it and leaves the interview. On the next day during sports class, students are practicing and playing basketball. A few of the students try to make a formation but end up falling. Tom and Oscar confront each other and start fighting. Nowak interferes and barely separates them. Oscar runs into her teacher's office and Nowak follows him. She tries to stop Oscar as he attempts to steal her laptop. Oscar breaks the window, injuring Nowak's eyes in the process. He takes the laptop and runs away. Nowak chases after him. Oscar goes outside of the school and starts running in the town. Ms. Nowak knows that Oscar is out of his mind and isn't thinking straight. She tells him to stop multiple times, but he doesn't listen. Oscar goes to the bridge and throws the laptop into the river. Nowak stops, exhausted, and starts taking deep breaths. The teachers held a meeting to discuss the Oscar issue. Many teachers were present, and they all admitted that the situation had worsened. One of the teachers asked Nowak about her injured eyes, and she lied to everyone, telling them that she fell off. The teacher and principal wanted to expel Oscar because of his behavior, but Nowak stopped them and also opposed the decision. When Nowak goes outside, she sees posters of the newspaper on the wall. She goes inside to check and finds out that the newspaper is being sold for €2. She thinks that it's expensive and discovers that the students are planning to write about her recent controversy. She tells them they need to stop, but the students totally reject her and say they won't make her look better. Nowak tries to explain that she isn't trying to do anything wrong and says they don't know the truth. She finds out that the students have already talked with Kun. On the next day, the newspaper edition is released and it spreads like wildfire in the school. Everyone, including the teachers, is reading it, and it's completely against Nowak. Her colleagues are also making fun of her, and it's hard to bear. Mr. Dudek comes and bans the newspaper edition and takes down the online version too. He also asks all his staff members to hand over the newspaper edition and prevents them from talking about it because it's against the school rules. Nowak goes to her class without a smile and starts screaming out of irritation and frustration. The students copy her and repeat after her. Nowak feels relieved because it's like she just got over something worse. Nowak calls for the substitute teacher and leaves because she isn't thinking about teaching at that time. She finds out that Oscar isn't going home and the school principal is also angry about it. Nowak goes to the classroom where Oscar is sitting. The principal and Nowak try to talk with him, but they both fail. Nowak tells the principal to leave them alone, and then she talks to Oscar in private. Both of them sit quietly, and then Nowak tells Oscar that she doesn't have any idea about why things ended up like that. She sees Kun through the window and she is getting wet in the rain. Kun doesn't come inside and goes away on her bike without her child. Oscar solves the puzzle cue and gives it back to his teacher. The police come at the end and take Oscar away along with the chair he is still sitting on. Nowak wins the fight, all those against her are quiet, and she can now enjoy being her old self and play with the kids. No one is sure if Kun was wrong or right or the identity of the thief, but Kun gets defeated when Nowak is still in the school with the full support of the staff. The best teacher is still Nowak because she didn't complain about Oscar and never told anyone about what happened to her.